Hey Vibes, so if you are trying to follow a low carb lifestyle and maybe you're even feeling the benefits of low carbs, like having more energy and feeling great in your body, but you're not seeing the scale drop yet, or maybe you want to implement a low carb lifestyle and you want to enjoy it, but for some reason it just hasn't been working for you and you're not feeling your best, no worries, that's what this video is all about. I've worked with hundreds of women following a low carb lifestyle, and I'm going to share with you today 3 reasons why you're probably not losing weight on low carb or feeling your best so that you can then fix it. Living a low carb lifestyle can not only help you with weight loss, it can help you decrease inflammation, feel better, have more energy, decrease food cravings. There's so many benefits. Honestly, the list goes on, but I totally understand that there's so much misinformation out there, or just so much information in general. It could be overwhelming on how to actually implement it to get the results that you want and feel your best, and where to start. So you may have tried some things to make it work for you and you just feel like it's not. So let's get into this video so I can share with you a couple of reasons why you may not be seeing the results that you want with low carb lifestyle. That way you could switch it up, implement these things, and start losing weight and feeling like your best self. By the way, if you're new around here, my name is DiBiasi. I'm a registered dietitian and low carb weight loss expert, and I help women lose weight with a low carb approach. So with this topic, I totally got you covered. No worries. Let's get into the video. So tip number 1 might actually shock you, but the biggest mistake I usually see with women doing a low carb approach is that they go too low. They try to completely cut them out, and especially if you're coming from a higher carb diet, that's really not going to work well for you most of the time. The thing with low carb, how I like to look at it, is I never want people to fear carbs. I never want people to feel like they can never eat them. Actually, quite the opposite. I want you to enjoy as many carbs as you can and get the benefits of low carb and see results, and that comes along with finding your carbohydrate tolerance, that sweet spot of carbs that feels the best for you and helps you get the results that you want to get. And I really believe that everyone has their own carb tolerance, so what your friend does or what I do may not be exactly what you need to do. It comes with a little trial and error and seeing what works best for you, but the problem I see is when people go way too low, they wind up craving them even more and they're cutting them out, and a lot of this even comes down to emotional satisfaction as well, along with the fact that we do need carbohydrates in the diet, especially to get fiber for regular digestion, for hormone health. There's plenty of reasons that it's important to have those carbohydrates, and especially if you are more active, but it's finding that right amount that works best for you. But very often what I see when people go way too low on carbs is it's that whole restrict and then binge, right? We try and completely cut them out, and then all of a sudden we go to a party and they're all in our face and we just want to binge on everything, and then we feel like a failure, and then we're cutting them out again on Monday, and then the cycle repeats. That doesn't work for anyone. It's like I've mentioned in other videos before, if you tell a toddler not to do something, they're going to want to do it. I just spent 4 days with 4 kids under 4 years old, and trust me when I say if you tell a kid not to do something, they're going to want to do it 10 times more. But we are not as mature as we think, and us adults, it's really the same thing. If I tell you not to do something, you're going to want to do it 10 times more. So with my approach with low carb, I never want anyone to completely cut them out. I don't think that works, and I don't think that's necessary. What we do is we portion them and we balance them with other foods, so you can still enjoy whatever carbs it is you love in moderation and lose weight. That way you can still enjoy those carbohydrates that you enjoy and you love, and you don't have to completely cut them out just because you're trying to lose weight. It just comes down to portioning them and balancing them with other foods. It's really not about how low carb you can get, it's about what is going to work for you long term. Okay, so number 2 is not adding enough protein, fat, and veggies to your plate to lose weight and feel your best. So often I just see people cutting out carbs from their diet and they're not replacing any of those carbohydrates with something else, and that's probably going to leave you feeling lethargic, irritable, cranky, hangry, no bueno. Instead of just trying to eat so little and completely cut out all the carbs, it's really important to make a balanced meal and have those carbohydrates in a portion size with each meal, or at least 1 or 2 meals per day. When it comes to the other foods on your plate, you want to make sure you're having lots of veggies. And actually, fun fact, veggies are carbohydrates. They're just very high in fiber and still low in carbs, even though they are carbohydrates. So they're a great food group to have a lot of on your plate for your health and your weight loss. I recommend my clients getting about 1 to 2 cups, or about half your plate of veggies for lunch and dinner. And if you get them in a breakfast, awesome. That's great too. And then there's protein. You want to make sure that you're having enough protein to prevent muscle mass loss and to keep your metabolism up when you're trying to lose weight. And also protein does an amazing job at keeping you full along with the veggies and the fat. And then that leaves us with fat. I see people all of the time cutting out the carbs and pulling back on fat, and I just think that's a really bad combo because when you're not using as many carbohydrates for fuel, you're going to switch into using more fat for fuel. Now, that's not to say you can't do that from eating protein and veggies. However, you do want to make sure that you are eating enough throughout the day, even if you are trying to lose weight. And the good thing about fat is it keeps you full for a long time. It's one of those macronutrients that is really, really satiating. And the reason why low carb is so successful a lot of the time is because protein, fat, and fiber are going to keep you super full and satisfied on your weight loss journey, as opposed to carbs, which are more of a quick source of energy. They get digested more rapidly and they don't keep you as full for as long. So the cool thing about low carb is you can lose weight without calorie counting or macro counting because you're managing your hunger. So just because you're going low carb doesn't mean we're going low on everything, right? Make sure to have enough protein, fat, and high fiber veggies on your plate to keep your blood sugar balanced and you feeling good, satisfied, and energized on your weight loss journey. Okay, and last but not least, number 3 is snacking too often when you're not hungry. I see people all the time snacking on keto products and low carb this, low carb that, but the reality is if you're trying to lose weight and you're constantly eating these snacks, especially when you're not hungry, just because they're low carb, it doesn't mean you're going to lose weight. That's a common misconception. Just because you're eating low carb does not mean you'll lose weight. There's so many other factors to it. Low carb is a tool that you can use to help you on your weight loss journey and feel good. However, it's not the whole picture. You have to also make sure you're eating enough veggies, drinking enough water, and you're not snacking when you're not actually hungry. Don't get me wrong, snacks are a great tool for weight loss, and that's how I use them with my clients. I use them as a tool, and if it's needed, then we plan a snack for their day, but there's a difference between having a snack and snacking all day long. There's a lot of research that even suggests having bigger, less frequent meals is better for your weight loss and blood sugar control than snacking every 2 to 3 hours or snacking really often. If you're eating balanced meals with what I said before, protein, fat, fiber, veggies, it's going to balance your blood sugar and keep you full for a long time that you're probably not going to need as many snacks, and that's totally fine. So I actually have a client story I wanted to share, and this kind of goes with number 1, going to low carb, and number 3, snacking too often. So this client came to me following a keto lifestyle and she wasn't having any carbs, so any starch or fruit throughout the day. But what this client was doing is she was snacking on a lot of low carb products at night. Even if it was healthy things like nuts, it was holding her back from losing weight. We literally added 1 carb serving to her lunch meal and she felt more emotionally satisfied and satiated that she stopped snacking at nighttime and she was able to lose 15 pounds. It was such a simple switch like that because she was already eating really healthy, she was already following a low carb lifestyle, but going too low carb and snacking too much really held her back from reaching her goals. So I hope that these were really helpful for you. I know it could be a struggle trying to figure out what works for you when it comes to weight loss, and just be patient because it does take some time to figure out what works best for you, but you totally can do this. And if you are struggling and you want a little bit more help with this, I actually have a free workshop that's an hour-long training teaching you my step-by-step process that I walk clients through when it comes to low-carb weight loss. So if you're interested in learning more about that, definitely click the link in the description down below. It's packed with value. I know you're going to love it, and like I said, it's totally free. I hope you check that out, and if you have any questions or comments about this video, definitely put them down below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, and I will see you in my next video, babes. Bye.